30-06. All right. Yeah, Steve Lee. Hickok 45 here, your internet shooting companion, coming to you from the wild hills of Tennessee, the wild green hills of Tennessee. Yes, the home of Jack Daniels. Sure is, down around, oh gosh, Lawrenceburg? Yeah, I've been there 2 or 3 times, taken the tour. Yes, I cut myself already, I'm gonna cry out here getting ready. But yes, Jack Daniels, yeah. Yeah, well known around the world. I don't drink much of it. I've had it before, yes, but yeah, we're proud of anybody who has contributed to the cause, right? We might argue, some might argue alcohol doesn't contribute anything to the cause, but anyway, most people drink some of it, so you know. Okay, anyway. Glad you're here. It's a pretty nice day. Yeah, it is. I'm a little early this week because I'm going out of town to Dallas to see you, many of you. And actually, I'm not going out of town. I'm back by now, right? I'm back. Yeah. It's one of those deals where when you're seeing me, I'm back. Yeah. So anyway. Looking forward to that, and I'm sure I met a lot of you funny looking folks in Dallas and on the way back and at the NRA exhibits and everything. So those of you who came out, I appreciate it, and I'll talk about that next week. Maybe nobody will come out, maybe I'll meet nobody, so I better shut up for right now. So yeah, man, guess what I've got? I do put it in the description every week. You notice that? What I'm shooting, okay? So if you're ever in question, if I forget to mention something about it, I give what the firearm is or firearms are and their calibers and things, I believe, pretty much every week. And this is many of you already know, if you've been around, my pre-war Model 70. Yes, made in 1940. In what chambering is that? I said 30-06, but it says 30 government 06. Yeah, this goes back to 1940. Pretty cool. These old pre-war, different safety and everything. Check out the video on it, or 2 or 3, however many we have on it. It's gorgeous. I bought it in Tulsa one year. I was feeling guilty for not owning a Model 70. Wow. I just noticed that stock. I might have to, I don't know what that is. No, it's all right. I have to refinish it. Nah, I don't want to mess with it too much. It's in great shape. But yeah, out in Tulsa one year, I could look it up, but it's been 5, 6, 7 years. Time flies. And in fact, I remember the last time I was out there, I saw the guy I bought it from set up again. But, well, he's there every time, I guess. But, yeah, pre-war, you know, for those who don't know, when someone says a firearm, probably other things too, but firearms, if it's a pre-war model, if you're relatively new to firearms, your first question might understandably be, same thing I might ask if I'm new to firearms. If I didn't know what I'm about to tell you, I would ask, what war? You know, pre-Civil War, pre-World War I, World War, Korean War, Vietnam. What do you mean pre-war? You know, well, it's a phrase, a descriptor, an adjective. It refers to prior to World War II. That was such a big one, and I guess in the time during which it fell, you know, all that. But that's kind of. If you know, think differently, let me know. But I mean, I'm pretty sure it always refers to World War II, unless there's some description. Unless you're reading a book about World War I, or about the Vietnam War, and they're talking about the AR or something that was made prior to the Vietnam War. Yeah, this was if it was in context, it might be the war, Civil War, some reading you're doing about the Civil War. And there's a chapter on the pre-war firearms of the Civil War, that obviously you know what it's talking about. But just generally, if you see a firearm, maybe it's on Gunbroker or it's anywhere at a gun show, and it says pre-war, it's probably going to mean pre-World War II. Okay, no charge for that information. Wow. Yeah, I was really remiss. I had never owned a Model 70 until a few years ago, a handful of years ago, whatever it was. Never in my life. I should be beat with a whip, not having ever owned a Model 70 in any chambering. Wouldn't matter what it was. I was actually, as I mentioned, kind of looking for a Model 70, and again, taking care of that oversight in my life. I was thinking maybe 270, make Jack O'Connor proud, and your great cartridge and everything. But I ran across, and I wasn't dead set on 270, but I ran across this fellow had a table full of vintage pre-64 Model 70s. And I thought, yeah, I'm just going to probably have one, so maybe a pre-64 would be cool, a collectible. And it's like, I don't know, a coin or something, or a piece of silver or whatever it is. If I buy a Model 70, I'm not dissing your Model 70, it was made in 1980 or whenever, but I mean, if John has one made, a recent one, really nice, I like it. In fact, I almost bought one of those. Almost bought that one from him. But before I got this one. But well, this is a category where I probably just have one, so I don't hunt. And if you're a hunter and you're into firearm, you might have 8 or 9 bolt hunting rifles. I guess I have 8 or 9 bolt guns, but they're military surplus, that sort of thing. But I thought I'm going to have just one, probably Model 70 in my life. So let me get a pre-64 maybe. It costs a little more, but it will be a piece of real estate. That pegs it as a piece of real estate. It will always appreciate in value, because I don't think they're going to be making any more pre-64 Model 70s. Of course, I had that same notion about the pre-64 lever gun, Winchester lever gun 3030, whatever, Model 94. I thought I'd get a pre-64 one, and again, I probably just have one 3030 Model 94. Might as well get a pre-64 model. It's collectible. It'll always, serial number for the next 200 years or 1,000. Everybody looks at it, or this one, they can look at the serial number and then they know it's a pre-64, which is a little more collectible. But as I was about to say, I end up with 2 of those though. But generally speaking, I'm done collecting those probably. And these, oh, this is nice. So how did I go so long with that one? I don't know. Well, let me thank Simon and Alabama Holster, my favorite holster company, because I use them every day. Nice little Kydex holsters. Got one in my pocket, and I'm not just saying that, don't you? I've had one in my pocket or on my belt for a lot of years. Great outfit. Check them out. All right. And this is a nice rifle. I got another firearm out here, but I'm going to shoot this one some more. 30-06, hard-hitting cartridge. It is a hard-hitting cartridge. Oh, I don't have my water done. I made up some tea, and just some iced tea, though, might be good occasionally. And I got this bottle of that REI in Brentwood this past week. And I thought, oh yeah, I need one of those. If I had one of those with a big mouth, like my big mouth, I could put ice in it, maybe make a little tea occasionally, to carry it outside and around, not a cooler or anything. Don't you like REI? You ever go to REI? There's another topic. Yeah, the gal that checked me out had some crazy t-shirt about inequality and all this stuff, and I think purple hair or something. There's something about, nice gal, probably didn't offer a bag to carry all the various items I bought, but probably because I'm an old man, she figured I was a bigot. But Uh, there, I've observed this over the years, and you have too. This is not some kind of brilliant observation, but I've always, it's perplexed me a little bit over the years. I mean, for a long time, I've always been kind of an outdoors person. Many of you are too. And, on the farm growing up, part of my growing up, not all of it, but part of it, and then buying my own land in the 80s, and I've had land to mess with, a tractor and cutting your weeds and chopping trees and all the things you do when you have land, and shooting and being outdoors and cutting wood, whatever it is. Some camping, and I always like to hike, but there's and I know people that have fun. I know a good friend of mine, really good friend of mine, several friends of mine have land. 3 of my best friends do. And one of them raises cattle, grass-fed, cattle, and buys some meat from him and everything, and cuts hay, is always out doing things. And the other one is horses, and south of Nashville, and a fair amount of land and all that, and is always doing something with the tractor and the barn and the horses, and just outdoors people. Another friend hunts all the time, and has land, and he gets several deer, 5, 6, 7, whatever the limit, if there is one anymore, every year. And so I know a lot of people that are outdoors people. There's different kinds of outdoor cultures, though, aren't there? You know what I'm getting at? There's like us, my buddies and me. If I drove to their place today, they'd be dressed kind of like me or something. All right. Better watch where I shoot the 30-06, right? That guy was almost at treetop level. Interesting. But they would have a cotton vest, or hat like I've got on, or something, just kind of thing. But then there's the other outdoor culture. It's not just what you're wearing, but kind of the REI culture, or the I don't know what to call it. It might be comprised mostly of younger people, but not exclusively. But it's a lot of people that might be hiking the Appalachian Trail and camping and canoeing, doing all that kind of thing. But it's a different kind of outdoor culture, and it's you're going to find a lot of wokesters in that side of the outdoor culture, who would not like people probably as much like me or my buddies that are also in the outdoor culture, like shooters and that kind of thing. So they're more likely to be wearing a bright green and pink vest or a shirt, whether they're hunting or not, or camping or whatever they're doing. It's just different. You go into I guess what I'm getting at, I go into an REI, and there's bikes and mountain bikes, which I have and like to ride, and there's tents, and there's this outdoor gear and water bottles and backpack, all the kinds of stuff. But I feel really out of place in there. Not based on the stuff they sell. A lot of it is really cool stuff. I feel out of place. I feel like I'm on a different planet in terms of the people. Most of them, not all of them, but the people that work there, and many that would shop there. That I'm just not part of that demographic, and never have been. Not just because of my age. It's just, what I'm getting at? Yeah. Maybe if you do, you're kind of weird, if you understand my brain. So anyway, here I am. Guess what else I got? I got the Davy Colt out here. Yeah, I had it out for that short I did announcing, just a reminder about the Dallas thing you might have seen. Hopefully you're seeing the shorts too. I took 5 shots with this baby. That's all in that short video I did last week. And not to get it dirty. And I went back into the shed. I started to clean. I said, well, because I clean. If I shoot them once, I clean them. Well, you know what? Let's just shoot that some more. I'll get it back out, for Sunday video. Yeah, I do that occasionally, as you notice. It's not. I'm not going to just get some gun out for Sunday that I don't care about. Of course, I wouldn't get some gun out to shoot that I don't care about, period, right? I like it, obviously, I like that gun. Now, Davy Colt, if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you're new, find the Colt single action, Army, 3 generations, Davy Colts. If you Google Davy Colts, or search on our channel, to come up with that video where I bought 3 of these, one for myself, John, and my grandson, Davy. Consecutively serial numbered. So you really young people, okay, if you're, I don't know, 15, 20, 10, don't forget these. They're the Davy Colts. I have one, John has one, and Davy will have one, okay? And my grandson. And so as you move through time, if they're still doing videos when I'm gone, you make sure they still have these, okay? And they're firing them, all 3 of them. So I chose the cavalry length, as I mentioned. I like all the links, but I thought, let's use that. I like, and beautiful stag grips, sandbar stag grips, and John likes the gunfighter length, and so Davey didn't get a choice. He was just barely born. Okay, so he has the 5.5, which is actually the most popular length and the ideal length, right? So let's load it. Got some Steinel ammo, thanks to Steinel Wideners, yeah, shoot some of that. Coated, don't get the leading. So if I don't have any Underwood 45. Well, I've got the I've got some, but the hotter stuff. I'm gonna be shooting this today, but yeah, appreciate their help and everybody's help. Like I say, Ballistol and Talon grips, and whole 9 yards. Always, I get questions as time moves on. People pop up a video. It's 5 years old or 2 years old, whatever it is, and back when we were sponsored by the NRA or some other company, we've been really fortunate. When someone approaches us, which is not how it goes, wants to sponsor us, then we chat with them that we really prefer a long-term, deal kind of thing, and which we do, and so we try to find people, weed out and talk to the people more seriously that are interested in longer term, at least a year, 2 years, 3, 10, whatever it ends up being, but at least a year, that kind of thing. But there's some changeover occasionally. If you run across something, I'm telling you to go to the link, it's a 5-year video and there's no link there. Well, a 5-year-old video, that might be a clue, okay? Because I update and that's the nice thing about YouTube. You can update all the descriptions, the template, the main part I put in every one of them that's not pertaining to that specific video. So I can update that any day. And so that is where you see who our current sponsors are, okay? Even if you just looked at a video and I'm telling you to look at something, whatever it is, or they're on the target, and wait a minute, I don't see that link, or they, whatever. You can't link to gun companies, of course, YouTube doesn't allow that, but anyway, always check the description. That lets you know who our current sponsors are. And I'm going to shoot this Colt 45. It is a 45 Colt. Is that okay? Davy Colt. Let's see if it's ambidextrous. Well, I'll be darned, it is. Oh, I thought, wow, do I go in the same hole? It's in the blue. That was a bad let off. That was not a bad let off, but I held in the wrong place. There we go. Got him. 3, 4, 5. Empty. I've told y'all before, many of you some might know that. If you're in competition, I used to do the USPSA stuff, and it was like really rare. It almost never happens, almost. But if you put 2 hits right on top of one another, you're probably going to be credited with a miss. because there needs to be evidence that there's 2 hits there, as there just always are, almost, okay? And it is so rare, now I guess they still score it that way, it is so rare to have 2 hits that are like right in that same hole, that when you study that hole, there is absolutely no evidence of that second hit. There is no extra little cut on one side. It's still perfectly round, and unless you're shooting square bullets or something. If there's just no evidence of 2 hits, guess what? They count it as a miss. At least always did. I don't know if it's, sure they still do. So you get a major penalty for a great hit, you know. Whether it's a marginal hit or bullseye, wherever it is, what zone it's in, it doesn't matter. So it's always kind of, yeah, it's a wow, that doesn't seem fair, does it? It's just that it just really is almost impossible to do that. It's like lightning striking right there, that same route I'm looking at, you know, twice in 1 year. I mean, it's almost that rare. And there's overlays, like clear plastic overlays with diagrams of bullets, different calibers, and black outlines and that kind of thing. You overlay it, so you don't just rely on old Ralph who can't see across the road. You know, you lay them up there, and I mean, you're looking for evidence. You're not trying to mess with somebody. You're looking for any evidence you can that there actually are 2 hits there, so you don't count a miss, because a miss just is a killer point wise. And well, yeah, what I was going to say is too, we're empty. Someone may give you the benefit of the doubt in a match if, let's say, like right there, although I was shooting left-handed, but still, right. Say I come up with my, semi-automatic, right? If up there, boom, boom, the target is that close, then I go on to the next target. Well, the range officer's right on my shoulder, and I'm right here, and boom, boom, and then I move on to the next target. And if those 2 hits are indiscernible, you know, they're indistinguishable from one another, whatever it is. Well, he was right there with me, or she, and I'm boom shooting from my here, and they're probably going to give me the benefit of the doubt there. But now if I'm back here, say I'm shooting at the cowboy or anything, this red plate, anything, even those closest targets, it's just probably not going to happen. And so, you know, you're just not going to get credit for it unless they've changed that rule. And I know you were dying to know about all that, right? Okay, what else am I forgetting? Man, I'm rambling on here. Don't forget the Hickok 45 Clips channel. I'm enjoying those, as I've said. I know John, I don't know if he got that off the, you see last week, the one where I've got the Macintosh, the old computer on the shooting table and talking about it. I think that might have been, it might have just been on the Patreon channel. I think that's got to be where that was, because that, either that or Shooting the Breeze. I don't think it was. I think it was just, I don't know, I think it was on the Patreon channel from years ago. But anyway, that was that was interesting. I'd forgotten about that. And it was great seeing that Macintosh again, the whole setup, my manuals and everything. I don't know if I can get all that, find all that now. It's been years ago, but check that out. If you you might enjoy that. You might enjoy that that old Macintosh original that I bought in '84 and everything set up on the shooting table. People thought I was going to shoot it, you know, but no. That was interesting to see that. It took me back to the old days. Yeah. In fact, a colleague from the old days teaching retired, is retiring this year, and they had a thing at the end of the year, and I was invited. I went to it. It was great. I knew I'd see hopefully a lot of people I taught with that would come back, and I did. It was really neat. It was just last week, and my favorite old boss, and who was a dean of a middle school for a long time, and some teachers I taught with are still there, some of them, and even people worked in the business office, and just it was really neat seeing those folks. because I just don't get to the campus anymore, especially since COVID, and after all the students I used to know and had in class have graduated and gone on. They're graduating from college now, in fact. So I don't know any of the students, so I just don't get back to ball games and things, and I need to do that. And don't know many people even that work there anymore, but it was really, really neat. And even I think because her mom also worked in business office, one of the persons, both of them that were retiring were in the business office and everything, and her daughter was in my class in the 7th grade, and she came. It was great to see her, one of my favorite students from way back. Now she's like 36 or something, but it was really great to see her, and I didn't expect to see any old students, but so anyway, it was neat getting back to see some of those folks. Time flies, it just really does. That reminds me, can I shoot this thing first though? I had I saw a comment somewhere, Clips channel or somewhere. Someone said, I don't know if it was in that video I mentioned it or where it was, but they said, oh my gosh, English teacher, you'd have hated me, or you'd hate me. You'd hate me. So I got something to say about that. Feels like 30-06. Think I can shoot that without blowing it over? I'll try. Oh, I killed it. I killed it. Oh, there's a gallon water jug down there on the propane tank. Yeah. There's a bowling pin down there. And why don't we just use the 30-06 on another 2-liter? How about that green one? Yeah. Short work of that. That is a beautiful rifle. That's a beautiful rifle. Yeah, man. Yeah, a classic. 1940. Wow. I think I was about 30 years old when this was made, right? But yeah, someone said that I'd hate them, and that's been one of my burdens, being an English major and teaching it for so long, because not everybody, but a lot of people hate their English teacher, and they think, oh my gosh, the ultimate nerd, an English teacher. Dealt with that almost all my life, and I told this person, I answered him, I said, well, I was not that person. There's always those students, I had a lot of them, that are just gifted, or they're just they're just really good students. They're really smart, and they really get it, and great writers and scholars, and you hear later they're majoring in English, and they're gonna whatever they're gonna do, they're gonna write or be in journalism, or they're gonna teach English or whatever. Well, I'm not surprised. So and so was a great student writer. I was not that student. I told this person I was not that person. I was a goofball in middle school and high school for the most part. Didn't get serious till my senior year probably, and then in college got more serious about the academics, and which was good because I actually enjoyed most of my classes once I got more serious about it. But I was not that English scholar. As I told this person, I just happened to have some really interesting, engaging professors when I got to college in literature, and just really enjoyed it. And I'd always kind of liked it a little bit, even in high school. I don't remember having any teachers I fell in love with, but in college I did. And I just became kind of fascinated in some of the things we read, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I thought I might teach if my NBA career didn't materialize, and I don't know. I was into my sophomore year. I don't know. I actually went and talked to the head of the department, English department, and talked to some other people, and I said, am I crazy? I'm actually thinking about trying to major in English, except I'm not sure I could do it or whatever. And I talked to him, His name is Dr. Ed Irwin at Austin P. He's passed now. He was a great guy. Wow, he was such a great guy. All of our lives are sprinkled right with people that just make such a difference, you know. And he encouraged me. You know, and I told him about all the misgivings I had, and I didn't have a 4.0 average or anything. And he encouraged me, and that he thought I could do it. I'd been in a class or two of his, and I did, and so I did, and I really enjoyed it, and then taught English. I enjoyed it. I even enjoyed the grammar side of it once I you know, mastered it to a level. That was one of my areas of weakness, I felt like, in high school and in college. Now, we had actually a couple of courses in college in that, which is kind of rare, I think. But, you know, structure of grammar and everything. And it really helped shore up some of the issues I had, or things I didn't feel good about at all, wasn't sure about. It got me on that road at least. And then I ended up teaching that in middle school right away in the early 70s, teaching diagramming. That was part of the curriculum, you know, serious approach to the grammar, you know, structurally, which a lot of schools don't do now. But so anyway, I even enjoyed that. It's kind of like math, you know. So anyway, I was not a scholar. Okay, now a few courses I could have been mistaken maybe for a pseudo scholar, because I really got into it later, but not in high school for sure, or even early in college. And so I am not that nerdy English teacher that, you know, the stereotype, put it that way. Okay, so I thought I'd mention that again, even though we've got some videos over on the Patreon channel of me doing some grammar lessons. That it's funny. All right, what do I shoot now? I don't know. How about this 30-06 again? Got clips. For those who haven't seen the video on this, this is back pre-war, and it actually takes a stripper clip. I'm not sure what year it was they quit doing that, you know, with the Model 70, probably shortly after the war, as I recall. Forgot now. But how cool is that? Just like a 03 Springfield or something. You can pop those 30-06 rounds in there, and it loads just like a Mauser really easily. And you're ready to go. I don't shoot this enough. I bet it's been a year since I've had this out. I should be apologizing for that, shouldn't I? All right. How about that propane tank? It's just going to go right through it very quickly. Boy, it hits hard. Hope I'm not tearing up my targets. Didn't tear that one up, I went under it. Hit him then. Let's put one on the gong. I gotta watch those empties. I've slapped those out on my phone, and I'm gonna scratch my screen. So Model 70, Winchester, yeah. Winchester proof steel. What's it say over here? It says, made in USA, Winchester Repeating Arms Company, New Haven, Connecticut. Okay? Back, as I always say, when Winchester was Winchester in New Haven, Connecticut. Connecticut probably doesn't even like to claim that now, right? Boy, in the Northeast, where all the gun companies were, things have definitely changed. Speaking of English, now the verb is past tense, where all the gun companies were. So many of them now are in the South, Southwest, Southeast, right? For a reason. We still have some freedom down here. Let's load up this thing. The old Davy Colt. What else do you want to know about? Anything? Well, let me give some friendly advice to the young people. And what was that going to be? I don't know. I made a note about it. Yeah, I know. I was out in Franklin, Tennessee, where I used to live in the 70s and early 80s. Just this last week. And I drove around by an old house. First house I built, different things. And when I get out there, sometimes I'll do that. And and by the areas and the roads around there, there's a cemetery that is there that I used to run, jog around there several miles, and I'd always run by that cemetery, and I always thought that was a good reminder to stay healthy and keep exercising. And I saw that, and I drove by it again up that road where I used to run, and there's those same tombstones, those same gravestones that were there in 75, 74, 73 when I would run through there, and all through the 70s. And I thought, well, isn't that interesting? Yeah, just a reminder. Those people were dead then, and guess what? They're still dead. You know, they're still there. And that's been, 50 years, more than 50 years. So just a reminder, we're going to be gone a long time, you know, and so make the most of it while you're here. You know, be good to people, do something worthwhile, and just keep in mind, once you're on the wrong side of the grass, it's going to be a while, okay? So it's just, and I drive by one where I live now, almost every day, virtually, literally every day. And it's right by the road, and there's quite often, there's grave diggers out there, and they're setting up. And most of you have the same experience because the cemeteries are all around. You notice that? Yeah, people are dying to get into them. How's that for the oldest dad joke in the world? And there you see every day somebody almost getting ready to be planted, and then also people over there parked, and they're walking out to various gravestones or sites and standing there, or they're bringing flowers or something, you know, and it's just a continuous thing. But it's a reminder. Some people, I guess, are depressed when they see a cemetery. I don't. It doesn't really depress me. It's just a stark reality. It's a reminder. In some ways, it's almost the opposite. It's almost a boost. Wow, I'm still above ground, and I've always had that feeling, not just because I'm older now, but I mean, it's great to be alive. You know, those people are not, and I'm still out running around in my car or on foot and doing things and breathing fresh air and that kind of thing. And they're not, and I won't be. Yeah, I'll be with them at some point. So anyway, it's not necessarily a hugely negative thing. It's not a depressing thing. It's just part of reality, and it's a reminder. Yep. Okay, that's where we're going to be, right there, but not yet. So have some fun and work hard. Be nice to people. I know it's hard, but try. And shoot a 45 when you get a chance. Yeah, just like that. Sweet. Oh, did I hit the cowboy yet? Oh. How do you not shoot the cowboy when you have a 45 Colt single action out? Yeah, with stag grips. It was just made. Let's just cock it. Don't forget how to operate a single action. Sorry, pushing on the ejector with a hammer down. Duh. Like I've never handled a Colt single action. So, beauty. Yep, 2016. Hard to believe that thing is 8 years old now. Seems like I just ordered it and waited for almost a year to get them in. Oh, yeah, 45 Colt. Pretty nice. Wow. Talk about a couple of classics, and talk about a couple of nice reasons to be on this side of the grass in order to shoot a stag-gripped 45 Colt single action and an old vintage, that's redundant, right? A vintage Model 70, pre-war, made in 1940. It's a beauty. Yep. Yep. It's fun bringing out classic firearms like that, or just taking them to the range. And you don't have to shoot them a lot. You know, don't steer clear of firearms like that if you can afford them. But you're thinking, well, I don't want that. I wouldn't want to shoot it too much, and ammo's expensive, or maybe I could afford it. I've been saving up for a nice gun. I wouldn't mind having an old gun of some kind like that, but that ammo is so high. Well, if it's a vintage gun kind of thing, it's not your daily shooter. It's not your daily driver. It might just be something you want to fire a box a year. You get I don't have a box of rifle ammo, but 20 rounds in a box. Maybe you go out and shoot it 10 times this year. You load up, shoot a couple of magazines through it, and then next year you shoot 2 boxes or whatever. But you average 20 rounds a year or something. Well, even if it's expensive ammo, if it's a firearm you really like and you just always wanted one of those, maybe like a 30-40 Krag or something, ammo is not going to be in abundant supply at your local Walmart or whatever, but it's out there. And so I finally learned that after a long time, to not steer clear of guns I really wanted, that I really liked, I thought were so cool. It kind of hit me. I've got all these other guns that I do the bulk of my shooting, or if I'm competing, or if you're hunting, or whatever it might be. But something that you just really, it's kind of a collector's piece maybe, but you do want to shoot it. But you're not going to shoot it all that much. Not just because the ammo is expensive. It's just not a firearm you're going to go out and blast hundreds of rounds through. Like, why? You don't want to. You get a lot of enjoyment. You can get a lot of enjoyment just shooting a few rounds occasionally, And so anyway, just a little advice there for what it's worth. So I guess I ought to let you go. I've rambled enough. And again, I'm early this week. If the world ends, that's why I don't know about it, okay? And as I'm heading to Dallas, and kind of looking forward to that. It's great to see all the manufacturers and all the guns available, and meet a lot of you and everything. Other than driving in Dallas, that's really the only negative. I just hate driving around in Dallas. And but I'll get parked and situated, and we'll be there to see you. So I hope to meet you. Hope I did meet you, and I hope I didn't say anything too dumb to you, and I didn't insult you or anything like that. Okay, but I will talk about the meeting or the exhibits or whatever, next week. I again, I don't go to the meetings, now, especially with the NRA, it's not what it used to be. We're not even sure what it used to be, and I don't have all the answers about the NRA. It's just the biggest firearms exhibit, that anybody can attend that wants to, unlike SHOT Show. But the NRA just gets a constant stream of criticism, of course, now, online, and justifiably so, as best we know. Now, as far as a lot of specifics about recent activities, and I don't know how the board's going, the directors, and now with the changeover to some extent in some of the leadership, I just don't know. I don't keep up with it. I just don't know. I'm a life member, been for, so I'm not going to resign from that, I guess, can you? And I don't have enough information to bash the NRA any more than what I have read and seen in the news, and what, the negatives we're all aware of. If you know more specifics, share it. If you're a rep in one of the states for the NRA or whatever, jump in there. Let people know. I don't know. I can't speak. I've never really been a part of the NRA other than a member. So if there's something going on that's really worthwhile, if there's a turnaround going on and that you know about, and you see a bright side to the future of the NRA, share it. I mean, because about all we hear about are the people who don't really know the specifics, and like me. I mean, then as we know, there's a segment of that segment of people that that feel compelled to just bash harder and harder and harder all the time, and maybe it's legitimate. I don't know. Maybe there's another side to it. So if you know of another side to that story, argue in favor of the NRA. I'd love to hear something positive. Yeah, I mean, I would. As I've said before, I don't think we're in the same place we used to be now. We're not reliant on one gun rights organization. That was 15, 20 years ago. It would have been more tragic for the NRA to have the reputation it has now. It would have been a lot more tragic because they were not the only game in town, but you go back especially further in time, they were. And a lot of the anti-gunners still focus on the NRA. They don't really know as much about all the other gun rights organizations. Some of them do if they're actually in the political world, but a lot of gun hater, far left loonies that just hate guns, they still focus on the NRA. They don't realize that there's a lot of effective work being done by the other organizations, more so than the NRA. So anyways, weird world. I don't lose sleep over it one way or the other. But if you know some inside information, share it. That poor old NRA could use some defenders, really. But again, as long as they have the biggest exhibits, the gun show in town, I'll continue going to it. I've been going to it for a long time now, every year, and seeing lots of you. It's the best place to learn about the new firearms and all the firearms, and meet a lot of you all and see you all. It's just like an incredible event, the NRA exhibits. And unless it just totally gets watered down, and half the vendors bail out or something, I'll continue going. I don't care which gun rights organization puts it on. If it's this size and this expansive, it could be, if it's the Joe Smith gun rights organization, it doesn't really matter. It's the place to be, right? So anyway, I've rambled enough. I've rambled way too much, and I hope I saw you in Dallas, and I hope I heard you if you hollered at me if I was walking through there or something, because I don't want to ignore anybody. You all are the reason that I get to shoot for a living, and as I've said many times, I really appreciate it more than you know. And I'm always happy to speak to you and say hi and all that kind of thing. And I mean, unless I'm going to a meet and greet and I've got 2 minutes or 1 minute to get somewhere and I don't know where it is or something like that. I don't like to be late to anything. I'm going to stop and chat with you. So anyway, hope I saw you. And if you didn't see me, you didn't miss much. So I'll be right here. Hopefully every Sunday for a long time, as well as in other videos. Yeah, you can watch for it. And for the people who keep saying they're unsubscribed and they haven't seen a video in forever and all that kind of thing, they're all right here, 2 or 3 every single week at, guess where? On YouTube, at youtube.com/Hickok45. Yeah, that's what I do. I go to people's channel and I look, and they're usually sorted from most recent to older, and I just look for videos I haven't seen yet. A lot of people don't do it. They wait to be recommended a video. They see only what's recommended or suggested or something, and that's pretty random, and you're at the mercy of guess who? Google, YouTube. Anyway, we'll keep making them as long as you come watch, and I hope I saw you in Dallas. Okay, so I'll see you next week. Have a great week. Life is good.